Alright everyone, and we are back with more Let's Play Rogue Squadron. Looks like we got not much left to do. We've already finished up all of the bonus missions and everything. I just have a couple of things I wanted to show you guys before we get to the end here. Mostly those are cheat codes, because unlike a lot of games where the cheat codes enable debug and things like that, a lot of the cheat codes in this game actually unlock legitimate features that they just didn't have the courtesy to actually put in as options in the game. They're just kind of secret. I have a list of them here that I'm going to read off to you guys. I won't punch them all in. I will punch in a couple of them just to show you what they do. Let me see here. Okay, there are two here at the top of my list that unlock things that we've already seen. Director and Maestro. I'll probably put those in as either an annotation or a caption depending on how I edit this. Those activate the showroom and the concert hall respectively. Once those have been activated, those features remain active for the entirety of the game. That's one of the few cheats that actually remains active after you've shut the game down. Most of the cheats will reset after the game has been shut off. Those two stay around. There are 4 more that you can use to unlock things that you can unlock legitimately in the game, which are that's what cheats are. But let me see. To unlock all levels, all the regular levels, I believe, or maybe I'm not sure. It just says all levels here. That's Dead Dak. Bit of comedy there. If you've seen The Empire Strikes Back. Let me see what else. All levels, including the 3 bonus levels. That is Meek Man. All normal levels unlocked, which makes me think that Dead Dak is not. I don't know. It's kind of unclear, but all the normal levels unlocked is Game Flow. And then you could also punch in a code to unlock all of the power-ups or weapon upgrades and everything like that. That is Tough Guy. And let me see. You can actually change. There's a long list of cheats that you can use to unlock. To change the title screen. I mean, not necessarily unlock it. Hard Rock is the one that I have written down here, but I know that there are a lot of them. And they changed the title screen from Luke's face as he climbs into the X-Wing into members of the development team. Which you can do that, or you can just go to the code that I'm going to be using here in a second. Let's see. Blame Us. This code, if you go ahead and hit enter. This shows you a picture of the entire Factor 5 development team. Obviously, there's a few Star Wars characters making cameos around there, but this is the team that worked on this game and who are responsible for pretty much everything that's awesome about this game. You know, they would have different teams kind of, as the company grew. This game was such a phenomenal success, the company would grow. They would have different teams working on later games. But, yeah, this is the core team that would work on the game. And the only way you can view that picture is by entering Blame Us into the cheat menu. Alright, so there's one more here that I've got that can unlock more development things. You can punch in credits to view the credits, which I'm actually going to show you guys at the end of this episode, considering this is going to be our last episode. So, let me see. Who else have we got here? What else have we got here? Well, we've got Woe is Than, which unlocks the Death Star Trench Run level, and then Womp Rat unlocks the Tatooine Racing level in Beggar's Canyon. As far as I know, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, there is no code that allows you to unlock the Battle of Hoth. If there is, I will, hopefully, if somebody finds it for me or if I find it in post, I'll go ahead and add an annotation into this video later. But for right now, as far as I'm aware, there is no code that allows you to unlock the Battle of Hoth. You have to unlock that one legitimately, and the only way to do that is by beating all of the regular missions with gold medals, which makes it a little difficult to get to, but it is a fun enough mission that it's worth it. And then there are 3 more codes here that I have on my list that actually unlock things within the game that I think could have been actual features. They just, well, at least 2 of them anyway. You punch in ACE, A-C-E, and you'll unlock harder levels. This will improve the AI as well as decrease the amount of hits that your ship can take before you blow up. It also gives, I believe it gives enemies an extra layer of armor, but I don't know if that's correct or not. Basically, it unlocks hard mode, which again is something I wish that they'd put in this game. But then again, I suppose some of the levels are hard enough without it. You know, basically the main thing that it does is decrease your health, increase the enemy's health. You can also punch in radar. That'll change the actual radar that you're going to be using. I'm going to go ahead and punch that one in because I'm curious as to what exactly this looks like. I remember punching it in before and seeing what happened, but I don't remember exactly what it did. And unfortunately, it does not give you the ability to pick up when helicopters are coming. For the few of you who get that joke. There's also one more code, I Give Up, that will allow you to have unlimited lives, which is a somewhat decent code if you're having a hard time with this game the first time you play through it, but you know, it's not, I don't need it. I know, I recall using it in the past. I haven't used it at all in this playthrough though. Let me see now. Okay, and then there's actually 4 more codes here, 5 technically, to unlock vehicles, extra ships that you can get in the game. 2 of which I'm actually not going to spoil. Those are going to be for a little bit later. There is, let me see. Okay, for the Naboo Starfighter, you have to punch in Halifax with a question mark, and then exclamation point YNGWIE exclamation point. Neither of those codes will you'll hear R2D2 beep. Neither of them will do that. And then once you've punched in the second one, the Naboo Starfighter will be unlocked automatically in the hangar. There will be no indication of that until you actually go to the hangar and look. And it is possible to disable the Naboo Starfighter simply by punching in Halifax question mark again, and then punching in any other word. It doesn't even matter what it is. It can just be a single letter. That's just basically to disable the cheat. And then there's one other one that I wanted to show you guys. Let me see here. All right, so Coelch, or whatever, however you pronounce this, is a code that, well, I'll show you guys. It's actually an in-joke among the developers that they happen to leave in for our benefit. You go ahead and enter that code, and then we're going to go back to one of the regular levels, and I will show you guys what some of those codes and things would do, as well as what we've unlocked for completing gold medals and all of the bonus missions. And see, now our game file has a triumphant 19 gold medals up at the top there. Now let me go to, I'm going to go all the way over to the left to ambush at Mos Eisley. Now look at how expanded our screen is here. Holy crap. We now have the ability to fly any ship in this mission. Obviously some missions are still speeder specific, but now that you've gotten gold medals, you can actually fly in any ship in almost any mission. The only ones that you can't are the speeder specific missions, because missions like Fest, where you're required to bring down AT-ATs, would be impossible with anything other than a speeder. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at our hangar. There are a couple of things that have changed. Obviously, the Naboo Starfighter is still there. I haven't shown you guys what the Naboo Starfighter can do, but basically, the Naboo Starfighter is the best craft in this game, by far. It's faster. It's as fast as the A-Wing. It can break better than the V-Wing. Its secret torpedoes are more powerful than any. They can kill pretty much any enemy in one shot, including AT-STs, even at the end game. Its lasers fire almost as fast as the V-Wings when it's using its rapid-fire cannons, and they don't burn out. The only thing it doesn't have is cluster missiles. And the fact that since it fires so fast, your accuracy is going to go way down when you're shooting, if you're not on target. So it's a touchy craft to use, but if you get good with it, you can gold medal all of the missions in this game, except for the speeder ones, without any problems whatsoever. Which is why I didn't use it at all in this playthrough, because quite frankly, it's cheap. Alright, so let's go over and take a look at our V-Wing, and oh wait. So this is what Kolish, that code does, is that it turns the V-Wing into a Buick. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Like I said, it's a developer in-joke. This is actually in every Rogue Squadron game. and every game, I believe it's in every game developed by Factor 5 in general, actually. And it flies and handles exactly like the V-Wing. It doesn't act any different. It just has a slightly retooled hitbox, and it looks different. It looks very, very amusing while flying because the V-Wing's exhausts are out the taillights. The only thing is that if you're using this in the mission, you can't pause, because if you pause the game, it'll freeze, and then you'll have to go back to the title screen, and by that time the code will have been reset. So good for run-throughs, but not necessarily, you know, a code you want to have on all the time. It's just amusing, that's all. So past the Y-Wing, we now have the ability to select the Millennium Falcon. I believe you unlock the Millennium Falcon for, it might be silver medals in all the bonus missions? I'm not entirely sure. I think that's right. And it's the Falcon is actually a fairly good craft in this game. In later games, when you actually were able to play as the Falcon within missions as opposed to as a bonus ship, they nerfed it a little bit. But in this game, it's fast. It's pretty maneuverable for its size, and it's got 2 turrets that actually auto-track like the A-Wings. Only they're obviously dorsal and ventral instead of on the sides. The only problem with the Falcon is that number one, its model, it doesn't have nearly the attention to detail that the other ships in this game do, which leads to nickname among my crew of friends and family as calling this model of the Falcon the Big Cookie, because it looks like a big cookie while it's flying. And the other problem is that it's enormous, and its hitbox matches that enormity. It is really hard, even though it is very maneuverable craft, it is really hard to maneuver it, especially in a lot of the later missions with very small arenas, just because it's so big. It's impossible to squeeze it in between canyons, for instance, on Kyle 2. It's just hard. And then you can actually take it to missions like the Death Star Trench Run, I believe, where you can see the other Falcon, and you can see that the Falcon model in-game is smaller. So they made this one bigger on purpose. I'm not exactly why. Probably just to make the size line up a little bit better with the other craft. But anyway, I could show you guys the Falcon, but I'm not really going to. I might post it like a bonus video of Falcon gameplay, but yeah, that might actually be a good idea. I'll post bonus videos of Falcon gameplay and the Naboo Starfighter gameplay, as well as gameplay of this third craft I've got here that I haven't shown you guys. If you press up while you're looking at the Millennium Falcon, you'll go around the back of it to another hidden craft that you can only get by looking at it. You can only get by getting gold medals in all of the bonus missions. This is the TIE Interceptor. You're baying through most of this game at this point. This is actually the fastest ship that you can fly, faster than the A-Wing, and definitely more maneuverable. But it has 2 problems. Number one, no secondary weapon. This thing is a pain to fly because, you know, you're just firing your lasers. Albeit you do have 4 guns, which gives it a much greater firepower than almost any other ship in the game in terms of that. But because it doesn't have missiles, you're going to be using your lasers on everything, which is actually really crippling. The other problem, no shields. The only shielding that this thing has, it has a tiny thin layer of armor, even worse than the V-Wing, and it has it has the advanced shields that give you basically 1 good hit. If you take any more than 1 good hit, you're done. I'm actually going to, let me see. I'll just edit in footage of the craft bios from General Riken for both of these craft because I realize that I've talked over both of them. And then from here, I'm actually going to cut back to the final mission of this game. It's an extremely secret mission. Only a few people know that it exists. But I will be seeing you guys in a second as soon as I've got to that mission. Okay, so to unlock the final mission of the game, we have to come back here to the passcode screen. Punch in the word chicken and hit enter. And here it is, folks. The final mission of the game. You are an ATST, and your mission is to destroy everything. Basically, this mission is an unfinished tech demo that they left in the game for the sheer purpose of being able to test whether or not they were even capable of putting an ATST into this game. And I'm glad that they didn't, because, quite frankly, this thing controls horribly. You have to use the control stick to move back and forth. Let me back up a little bit here. And then you can press B to fire, obviously. Then you press Z, press and hold down Z, and then you use the control stick to move the walker's head around. There's no targeting reticule, so you're just going to have to kind of take pot shots until you can hit those probe droids up in the air. That's really the only thing you need to move the head around for. There we go. On time and on target. Gotcha. Alright, and then there's one other thing you can do, is if you press up on the control stick to move forward and then press R, I believe it's R, or is it different? I can't remember. Yes. No, if you press Z while you're doing that, then if you press Z while moving forward, then the walker will lock into movement, and you'll be able to move forward and shoot and aim at the same time, which is actually fairly... This is the only part of this movement that was actually seemingly competently implemented, because the walker, it moves semi-smoothly. Not great, but it does handle semi-smoothly once you get it moving forward by itself. But honestly, there just aren't enough buttons or anything on the N64's controller to make this work. You can see I'm kind of just wandering around here. I'm pressing Z again. You do not have any secondary weapons. None of the C buttons do anything. L button changes your view as usual, but there's only 3 options: slightly farther away and super far away and then close again. There's no in the cockpit view like there are for the other vehicles. A allows you to speed up a little bit. Basically just like turning your engines on in a ship. You can fire, I believe, I can't remember, I don't think you can you lock your... I thought that there was a way to lock the head of the walker into a certain position while you were moving, but I guess not. Oh, I lost. So that's Chicken. That's the hidden tech demo part of the game. There is no completion screen for Chicken. It is an incomplete level. There is no medal reward for finishing it. You could tell just because of the odd number of medals that they left in the actual game that they were probably going to implement it as a bonus mission, but they decided to drop it because the controls were so awkward. It's really a difficult mission to quantify just because the controls are so odd for the Chicken Walker, that's why it's called Chicken, is because that's the nickname of the ATST, is a Chicken Walker. The controls are so awkward that it's difficult to finish, especially if you get too close, because you can't move out of the way and your armor's only so thick. But it is fun to play just because it's there. You know, it's one of those little bonus features that's fun, that's worth playing just because it's there. You know, just to try it out, just to see how well it would handle. They wouldn't be able to make a good controller for the Chicken Walker until, I believe, was it Rogue Squadron 2 or 3? One of the later Rogue Squadron games. They did try making a ground vehicle game. They did try making ground vehicles a central part of the next game that they would make for the N64, which was Star Wars Battle for Naboo, which I'm not going to go into because if I do, I were to get off on a tangent and quite a long rant about that game. So I will leave that to another time. Perhaps you guys will see that game coming from me in the future. Maybe. But in any case, I'm going to actually leave you guys off here because I am just about done with this LP. I'm going to show probably some bonus videos. I'll link them in of the TIE Fighter and Millennium Falcon with their probably their craft bios as well as some footage of them. But I am pretty much done here because this LP, it has been long and it's been hard and it's had a lot of work both in editing and in the actual videos themselves because this game isn't easy, but I think it's been worth it. I'm proud of myself for being able to get all the gold medals in this game again. It was fun. It was fun. And so next time, we'll probably be going back to a game that's a little bit easier, a little bit better, a little bit, well, I wouldn't say better, just requires a little less effort on my part to make it watchable, as opposed to just me just editing down to just my deaths or things like that. Something that I can just play without having to worry about how much work I'm going to have to put it through it in post to make it viewable. And so I will be seeing you guys on the next Let's Play. Alright? This is Benergizer1, aka Hawkeye89, signing off. Good night, folks.
In honor of the bravery and courage of Rogue Squadron, the Rebel Alliance presents each one of you with a plated insignia, so that all who see it shall know you. Kason Moore, Zeb Senska, Dak Ralter, Wes Jansen, Hobby Cleven, Lieutenant Wedge Antilles, and you, Commander Luke Skywalker, you have all done your part to strengthen the Rebel Alliance, to offer hope to worlds under the yoke of oppression, and to ensure the freedom of the galaxy. May the Force be with you.